When you go with the flow, it's easy. You can sit there, you can have your oars under your feet and lie back and watch the world go by and drop an oar here and spin the boat around it. Or it's very nice. But sometimes, actually, you don't want to go with the flow because of where the flow will take you. And I've been looking at it, and it's like, oh! And the current, meanwhile, is a big tongue. They call it the tongue, taking you right down. And sure enough, I get on the fucking tongue, and we're going right down. And I just do what I always do, and I pull it around, and I just push. It's like, fucking push! And the people on the beach all...
And so we jumped down in there, and we waited. And the big kids came running when they're about 10 feet from the edge of the trees. We stood up and started rapid firing marbles into the trees. And you could hear the cracks of the bark flying off the trees. And the big kids were like, shut, and cursing.
One is moving, the other is not. One hand doesn't move while the other moves. That creates the illusion of the invisible, no matter what shape it is. It's the non-movement that creates the illusion. If I move all the time, there's nothing there. It's just air. But if I stop one, it could be fingertips. And the thing becomes a three-dimensional force in your imagination because of the non-movement. The non-movement. This guy here is way more important than this guy here. That's the guy on your peripheral vision saying that object is real.
His dad, Don Corleone. The hospital was empty. Michael Corleone. Where's everyone?
The reality of the story to the storytelling room. Mm-hmm. When you transition from the reality of the story to the storytelling room, you're transitioning from character to teller. Mm-hmm. Thank you.
A diamondback rattlesnake curls beneath a rock. Her belly vibrates to Mother Earth. Siren of the desert can smell the water and is a guardian of these sacred grounds. Only one creature is willing to challenge her dominion. Roadrunner, the fiercest gunslinger on the Camino Real, challenges the víbora over its territory.
In this one beautiful part where the walls go 2,000 feet sheer, straight up on both sides, it's a magical place to be. Remote, powerful, awe-inspiring. And we found a little slot canyon amongst those sheer walls. And we pulled over, there was a tiny little beach. We had 4 big boats, and we pulled the boats up onto the beach. There wasn't anything to tie to, but we pulled them up high enough on the beach. And we went up the little slot canyon, and it got narrower and narrower, and pretty soon we were doing the chimney move, where you have your hands on one side and your feet on the other, and you can climb up and down. Really, really fun. We were only gone about 20, 30 minutes, and we came back, and the boats were gone. Now, we're 5 days in to a wilderness canyon, and the boats have everything that we need to survive. We'd even taken our wetsuits off and put them on the boats. So there we are in our swimsuits, shorts, and the sun is starting to approach 2 o'clock when it's going to get shady. What do we do?
And that's when it kicked in. The adrenaline got to a level my body could not sustain anymore. And then when it hit that peak, my legs began moving. And they were moving so fast that legs were moving. My legs were moving. And when they stopped, and I looked down, there was a freaking table under my feet. That was the table right there. And the professor's right there looking at me. His bodyguard ran to him and whispered something. He raised his hand, and the student stopped. For the first time, they were silent, but the cameras were on. Picture, 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 picture. And then it came out of nowhere or out of everywhere. Pow! It hit me hard, and I knew exactly what I had to do. I reached down, and I lifted a military-grade rifle. I engaged and put it on my shoulder, and then I marched across the table past the professor and his bodyguard, and I pointed the rifle at the students. Then I let out a primal scream that's better left for your imagination. And I squeezed that rifle down to a box.